or my following, I'm sorry, just how we've been long-term friends.
Yeah.
You definitely have your experience in love and relationship. But most of all, you are not just a celebrity hairstylist, but just an overall hairstylist. People vent to you, they talk to you like they do bartenders, like they do barbers, whatever. So you get the meat and potatoes of
I get the whole
relationship.
tea. I get the whole
You
tea, baby.
you
Listen.
get all of
Listen.
it.
I can listen.
You get
I know
all
so
out of
much
it.
shit about all my clients, and then they don't be knowing that I remember half the stuff because I do so much, and they be like, "You remember that?" I be like, "Yeah, you got 3 kids. Your husband's over here. You were
I
there, blah, blah,
know.
blah." And
I
they be like,
know.
"Oh my God, you remember?"
I know. I know. I'm glad I don't tell you nothing. Uh,
Okay,
no.
I
But
don't
no,
spill the tea
really. So I thought it was very, very important. And, when we spoke last week, that even you said it was very important to get the opinion and the perspective aspect of relationship, love and relationship rules or ways from the
yeah.
LGBT community.
QRST now it's the whole damn
I know. Who did I see
alphabet.
say that earlier today? And they was like LGBTQ XYZT. And I was
RSTV,
like,
girl. The
I
new
didn't
generation of folks.
know. Yeah, so
Yeah,
everybody, I guess, in the Q community, because the Q stands for queer. Um,
yeah.
so different. But that's crazy because I'm a heterosexual woman and I'm a Q. I'm definitely weird because that's all Q means. But whatever, we'll save that for another conversation, what have you.
Okay.
So let's just jump right into it. Am I
Yeah.
calling you Steven or Peanut? Because it's hard to call you Steven. I just like calling you
Just
Peanut.
call me Steven because I'm gonna save the live. And I want you to call my name, the one that I respectfully owned.
My eye hurt.
Whatever.
Uh, And so I want to get right into the book, and not just the book, but into relationship. And so when I first wrote this book, that I was coming out of something, or I come out of something that was very difficult for me, and I had not experienced it before. The
Yeah.
first chapter of the book is recognizing. And
Yeah.
the first line says, the innocence and the initial commitment was real for you. It was probably real for your now ex-partner also. And I'll stop right there and leave it and say, okay, so when we say that it was real for this person, it was also real for their ex partner, there still was a sign somewhere early on in the beginning that let us know, whomever, that this wasn't going to work. And it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean that that was a bad person, that
Yeah.
that connection wasn't for the long term.
Right.
So for women, I'm going to say, like, women that I know in a heterosexual relationship, they ignore the signs. They don't want to be lonely. They've
Mm-hmm.
been single for a long time. He makes her laugh. She don't have anybody to go eat with. He spent a couple of dollars, but whatever it is about him, she knows that it won't last, but she's holding on for the sake of having something to keep.
Yeah.
That's women in heterosexual relationships. What is it in heterosexual and or in relationships in the LGBTQ, all of the other
QRS
alphabets?
TV.
Yeah. What is it that, how soon do you guys recognize normally? And what is it that keeps you holding on when you know that that's no longer for you?
So, for me, I can only speak for me in past experiences. It's so hard to figure out who's for you. So
Mm,
it also depends on the person that's coming into the situation because I can meet someone and be like, oh my God, I like them so much. And
mhm,
then one thing can happen because they fit my perception of what my want my mate to be.
mhm,
So when we come into a problem, and if whatever my perception is of what my mate should be, if anything else is tarnished or it doesn't go the way that I think it should go or the way I envision my partner to look, be, act, anything, then it's on to the next. That's why
mhm,
in the LGBTQRSUV TVs, This this community, we just jump around so much because one, we're trying to fit the stereotypical relationship because they're all around us. They're on TV, they're on social media, they're everywhere. So
Mm-hmm.
in our minds, we're programmed to say, I want my man to be masculine. I don't want him to be feminine. I want him to drive this car. I want him to live in this certain area code, everything. So then when
Mm-hmm.
all of that perception is tarnished, it's like, okay, girl, I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I had to learn, stop doing it. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to find what you have up in here because you're not God. You're not a creator. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't just make a man.
Mm.
So then when I come into a person that has 20 things that I love about him, and then he has about 10 things that I don't, I compromise, I humble myself and say, you know what? This is a lot of shit that comes along with me. So
Not you. Oh my God, no.
me, because you know I'm crazy. Okay? So it comes along a lot of, this vessel is a strong vessel. It's a lot going on. So when it comes along with, like, when they come along with 10 out of the 20, I'm just going to go in. And I'm going to go all the way in.
So you can deal with half of what you need. You think half is enough.
I can deal with half because the first 10 is the construction of it. You got to have the groundwork. That's what's set. You got to set the groundwork. You have to have a great background because I can't build a guy no more because I used to do that too. I used to build men.
Hmm.
The
But I think
10,
we
the
all,
10,
even in heterosexual, I say heterosexual relationships, women and men do the same thing. Men
yeah,
try to make this woman and like she has some, and if she just works on this, and women the same way. I want this man, he has these qualities, but if he just did this, and I'm going to try to push him to his
yeah,
potential. And I talk about that in the book when I'm talking about we are dating someone's potential, and sometimes they don't want to live up to their potentials. You see it in just friendships, not even in
right.
romantic relationships, in business relationships, where you may work with
Definitely.
someone and they have the potential to be so great at their workplace, but they just don't want to push it forward. Your friends have the potential to be great friends or great at what they do, and you keep trying to push it. And you know that I've experienced that. You keep trying to push them, but you see their potential. They may even see it, but they don't care to live up to it. In a
Right.
romantic relationship, that happens often when women and men both,
Yeah.
they get into relationships and this person has some of the qualities and they're head over heels for those things. Early on they see that, I don't know if I'll be able to deal with this because they don't have X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
even if they have LGBTQ.
QRST. You just
But
gotta say it. You just gotta cover it.
yeah, who said this? Crimp cutie. Yes, sometimes they don't want to live up
They
to
don't
the
want to go to it.
expectation.
Right.
But when you're in
I
this
remember I
relationship,
dated this guy.
hmm
He had all the qualities. He had all the groundwork. I
hmm
like go getters. I like somebody that'll take something and make it something, nothing out of something. Because that's the type of person I am. The
hmm
whole, just who I am. I'll take
hmm
something bad and just make it just extravagant.
hmm
So he just did not, and I saw so much in him. Like I wanted him to be like this world-renowned chef because he
hmm
had the qualities. He was also a flight attendant, so he traveled the world. He tried different foods. Like I saw who he could be. He didn't see it,
So
and
let
that
me ask.
created a real big wedge in our relationship because I'm pushing it, pushing it, pushing it. But then on the flip side of that coin, I never looked at it to say, well, hey, for his thinking, well, hey, who I am right now is not good enough. So I never thought about that. And when he said that to me, it just smacked me in my face.
hmm
Like, you trying to make me into somebody that you see me as, but you're not telling me who I'm. I mean, the person that I am right now is not good enough.
That's a great perspective. That's a great perspective. And see, I think that's a great perspective, and I think he made an awesome point.
Yes.
Still, in life in general, when like you are an extremely ambitious person, you're gonna go, 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 go until you can't no more. I've watched you
Right.
for 15 years now. You go, just keep going. So when you're that kind of person, you need someone who is equally yoked.
Yeah.
And so it's not
Yeah.
that a person may not be good enough for you. He's just not living up to his potential. And your expectation or your perception of what he could be, what you recognize in him, he does not yet recognize that, or he doesn't care to work hard to get there. Again, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It just means that they're not for you. You're not equally yoked. But I want to ask you this because I've
And
seen
then
you in
hold
this.
on, and then they might not even be ready for that part of their lives. No
Mhm,
matter the age, like mentally, they might not. They're probably just not ready for that part of their life.
mhm,
Maybe that's too real. Maybe it's too much because a lot of people aren't ambitious. A lot of people
mhm,
aren't courageous to be like, you know what? I'm just throwing myself out there. I know I'm a part of this corporate world because when you build your own stuff, you gotta hustle and bustle because
mhm,
you're one of 1,000.
mhm.
So
1 in a million.
right,
And the hair constructor said, meeting them where they are. Sometimes you have to meet them where they are, and that means you have to leave. Yes, I agree with that. Sometimes it means that they're just not ready for you. But I want to get into, I've seen you with your heart broken. When you are in love, when that person meets all of your expectations and you think that, oh my God, this is it, this is the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, everything is great. And then it's a smoke and mirror. They're dealing with someone else. They lied about a particular status. It's something that's different. And then your heart
yeah.
is broken. What do you do to make sure you are taking care of you and properly placing your emotion as opposed to being we're adults now.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about Peanut, I'm talking about Steven. Uh,
Right. Um,
what do you do to make sure that chapter 2 is placement of emotions? How do you decide, you know what, I'm angry and I want to react? When your heart is broken, you're in your absolute right state of mind to want to act out when you are hurting for someone
right.
that you trusted and they broke your heart intentionally.
Right.
What do you do
So
as an
for
adult?
me, as an adult, let's go back. So when I was Peanut, I reacted, threw shit, broke shit. Listen, this is how I know how to express myself. The new me, the person that's been through counseling, the person that's going through therapy, every if something happens, it doesn't necessarily even have to be heartbreak. If something happens,
Mm-hmm.
everything that needs to have a conversation is not confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you did. This is how I'm affected by what you did. This is what I'm expecting moving forward. So
Mm.
it goes into play with the maturity of who you're dating to
As
say, you
well,
know what,
absolutely.
this was my experience. Because we can see a text message in the phone and be like, "Hey, beautiful, how you doing?" And it wasn't you. So then we're gonna go off like, "Who the fuck is beautiful?" And da 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 da. It could just be simply a compliment to one person, even though it's inappropriate.
It can't
Even
be
though it's
beautiful,
inappropriate,
inappropriate.
it could have just
Mm-hmm.
been something harmless. But
Mm-hmm.
reacting without thinking, without a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
it'll become something wider and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So
But here's
now
the
I
thing.
have conversations. Now I have conversations. This is what happens. This is beyond relationships. This is friendship also. You're my friend. You know the way I operate. This is what you did to hurt me. This is when the maturity level comes in with your friend. This is what you did to hurt me. I ain't like it. What can we do?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I get a crazy response, then you're going to get the crazy. But if you be like, look, I ain't mean it that way. This was my experience in the situation. All right, so I
But see,
realized
here's
my
the
wrong.
thing.
So what's
Are
up?
you really properly placing your emotions? Don't answer this. It's a rhetorical question. If no matter what they do, you act out. Because the proper placement of your emotions is when someone can give you a crazy answer and you can understand, you know what, that's where they are. But mentally, you have to, which is the next chapter of the book, chapter 3, you have acceptance. So you have to accept that this person can't meet me where I am. This person is not as mature as I am. This
Already.
person
Yeah.
has ill-intentional, maybe character flaws, personality disorders, mental issues, whatever it is. But you will drive yourself crazy attempting to explain, to talk it out, to come to some common ground because you're trying to be rational and they don't want to be.
Right.
So when you get to that point, you can't react crazy because you're wound up in jail. You got too
Yeah.
much to lose. So how do you accept that this is what it is without expecting
Yeah.
anything from them?
Yeah. So I just say, you know what? As much as it's going to hurt me, it's going to hurt you worse. I'm a good dude. Everybody, friends, family, I'm just an all in all good person. I'm a good man to the man that I accept and give myself to.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when to go. I didn't know when
Mm-hmm.
to go back then. Now I know when to go. Because it's going to, moving forward and, further along the relationship, it's going to be harder obstacles to cross.
Mm-hmm.
And if this little situation or if anything arises and you can't be mature enough to move forward, to move
Mm-hmm.
past or get through,
Mm-hmm.
we can't do nothing else. And I got to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to
Mm-hmm.
go. It's going to hurt, but listen, you got to pick it up and keep moving
You
because
just
it's
moving on through the chapters.
going to
Come
be
on.
bad.
Because the next chapter is what? Release.
Yep.
Yeah.
You release.
So after you, not until you have accepted at absolutely what it is, and not until you have accepted that this is over, that this is not going to work, that this person is not for me, I am not for this person. We tried, we did all we could do, or maybe we haven't done all we could do, but
Mm-hmm.
in this moment in time, this is over.
Yeah.
Then you get to a point of releasing, but releasing can be tricky, especially for women who aren't promiscuous. And I'm not being funny when I say this. Like, like I'd be like,
Right.
when you really wanna,
Why ain't work
you wanna,
out? What's
yeah,
wrong with
and
me?
you wanna be held. You want that male companionship. You want to be adored and admired. You want to feel sexy, and that not that that person made that or makes that, but because you allowed that person into your space to contribute to that extra piece of who
Yeah.
you are on a regular
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
It's difficult to release because in releasing, we also have to release the physical aspect of it all as well. We have to say, you know what, we can't be together physically. You
Right.
know what, we're not in a space where we can just be friends right now. So we can't communicate right now. We have to detach, and detaching from anything is painful. It's a
Yeah.
break.
Yeah.
It's a break. So in what is your advice? I'm not going to say what do you do, but what is your
So
advice to
here's the
people
thing.
who are
I do it. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to get it out.
it was I was finished the
Um.
question.
So here's the last relationship I was in. I did it in fours. I call it
Mhm.
my 4 step. I detoxed. I released him from my energy, from my spirit, from my being. I
Mhm.
detoxed. I replenished, and I refreshed.
Mhm.
So me releasing him is the chapter in your book. I released him. You're done. I can't do it no more because ultimately I'm going to be the one hurt in it. If I don't release you, it's going to get worse. It's going
Mhm.
to get worse.
Mhm.
I released him. I detoxed him. When I was hurt, you knew I was hurt. I was fucking
Mhm.
devastated. So I
Mhm.
took a moment to detox. Detoxing to me looks like I cried him out. I sat
Mhm.
in my shower on the floor and I let the shower run on me and I cried him
Let
out
the
of my
slow
soul.
roll down the wall. You
I
slid
cried
down the
him out.
slid down the
I
shower
had to
slow.
cry him out because mentally I felt like that worked for me. And it did. I said it, I balled up, and I cried all the 4 years out. When I tell you, I felt all that he weighed off of me. I replenished. Replenishing was me finding out what I like, going back into the dating world. Listen, this is what I like.
Going
I'm
into the
going to
next
date a
chapter. You
white
gotta
man.
go
I'm
ahead.
going to date a white man. I'm going to date an Indian man. I'm going to date all that I want to, because 4 years of my life wasn't stolen. It was occupied by him.
You gotta come on with that good word, Bishop. And amen.
It was occupied by him. So detox, I replenished myself. I got back into the dating world. I was like, there's certain things I like. My friends was like, you going out with a white man? Yes. You going out with an Indian guy? Yes. You dating a Cambodian? Yes. I don't know what I like anymore. The dating world is different. So now I
Before
got to
I moved,
refresh myself, refresh my mind, because I compromised so much for so long. Now I don't even know what's what. And like I
before
said, now the dating world is different.
before I move to the next chapter, which is redefinition. Let me tell you how you on it right now. I wanted to just touch on code ASF. I won't say the curse word. Says she was talking about when we were talking about not being able to release. So I just wanted to go back and touch on that. She said that's the hard part. I just keep calling just to be ignored. I can't see y'all, so when I know I need to leave it be. And Steven touched on it then. I'm just going to let you know, like, I've definitely been there. This book came from being there. And it's not like to hell with men or women or relationship. The book is direct because that's how I talk to my friends. And it
Yeah.
actually, my best friend said it to me when I was asking all the why questions. She said, if he wanted to be there, Paula, he would. And she broke my, I didn't want to speak to her for like 2 weeks because I couldn't believe it. She came out her mouth and said that to me. But it was the truth. And I had given so much of myself. And I was calling, and sometimes he would call me to lead me on too, but
Yeah.
he would be very nasty and very mean. And I'm thinking, well, he calls me sometimes, so um, he's coming around and he's gonna cool off and we're gonna work it out. And the whole time it was intentionally to make me miserable. But if you keep giving into that, you have to realize that you're making yourself miserable at this point. It no longer has anything to do with the other person. You
Yeah.
have to take the number out of your phone. When I tell you, you got to take the number out your phone with the tears in your eyes. You have to delete all of the text thread. Don't go back to 4 weeks ago, the last time that he texted he loved you. You can't go back to it because you're going to keep reminding yourself. You can't keep stalking his social media pages. That's one of the hardest things to not do because you want to know what's going on. If he moved on, if he's happier, if she's better, if he's better. You want to know these things. And really, at the end of the day, it's none of your business anymore.
Right.
And
So
that's
I blocked the number. I didn't block social media. That's a
mhm,
part of my detox. That's
mhm,
part of my detox.
mhm.
I got to get
And
you
then
out.
you go right into redefinition. And as Steven said, when he started redefining himself, he had to get back into what he liked apart from
This
this
is
other
juicy.
person. Yeah, he had to get into what he liked apart from the other person because when we get into relationships, we not necessarily become one. I believe that we're always going to be individuals. You like what you like, I like what I like. We do things differently. But the thing about it is we we coexist together.
Yeah.
So I let you into my world, you become a part, and I'm used to that extra piece connected. Some things that I might not have liked before, but now I'm kind of used to, or now I like, and I'm used to experiencing that with you, whether it's a new place, it's a new food, it's just a new conversation, something
Yeah.
different, a book, whatever it is. You have to then redefine yourself and understand that you have to live your life detached from whatever that past is. Oprah says something I saw the other day on like a IGTV, and the IGTV, she said something about forgiveness, and it was like forgiveness. I wrote it on my last post. It was like forgiveness is not accepting what has happened. It's accepting that it has happened,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't release until you accept that it has happened and that that moment is complete.
Y'all was like, y'all need to save this. This is good.
Yeah, we're
Save
gonna
this. I
save
need to
it, but
watch
make sure you go get
it
the book.
again.
Make sure
Right.
you go get the book. The
Right.
book is, if he wanted to be there,
Yeah.
he
It
would.
would.
The subtitle is 6 Steps to Push Past the Breakup.
Yes.
And I mean, it's a great read. And
So
I
we
wrote it from
on.
experience.
We're on
I
it.
wrote it from
What chapter is it?
research.
Acceptance.
Um, well, redefinition. Redefinition. We were talking
Yeah.
about redefinition.
And that looks
Um,
different from others. That looks that
mhm.
we have to touch on it. That looks different for everybody. If you're the
You could
type of
get the
woman
book.
that
Hold on,
needs,
P. You could get the book from my website. My website is IamPaulaCampbell.com, or you can get it from Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, wherever you get your literary work. But the book is, if he wanted to be there, he would.
yeah,
I'll sign it if you get it from IamPaulaCampbell.com. Of course, I don't have books coming from
Amazon,
Amazon or
yes.
wherever else. Yeah. So yeah, you can get it from those places. But yeah, the redefinition of yourself and remembering who you are, because a
Who
lot of
you are
times,
now because you
yeah, we
grow. You
lose
grow into a
ourselves. Yeah,
situation. You grow
and we
into
lose
things that you don't
ourselves.
know.
And
Yeah.
losing yourself in a situation, it can be hell. It literally, and I told you this last week, it took me 2 years to even attempt to date
Yeah,
someone
because you
else.
open yourself up and you being vulnerable to people is not an easy thing. That's
Mm-mm.
letting down. That's like
He getting the call.
naked in front of millions of people.
Hmm.
It's so uncomfortable, but it's necessary. You have to show who you are as a person to someone that you love.
Hmm.
The facades
Hmm.
has to be stripped
Hmm.
down. You have to just show your authentic self. Nothing. It doesn't
Hmm.
mean makeup. It doesn't mean clothes. Just show the
Hmm.
person who you are. So when you
And
do
one way that
that,
I
and
live,
that takes a process.
one way that I live, and this has gotten me hurt in friendships. You know how many times I've been crossing friendships. Like, God damn it, that ain't my friend. But
For
I
real.
am a person. Yeah, I'd be like, what in the world? If you meet me and you know me,
What in the
you
world?
are going to be family. Like, I'm not like, oh, I don't trust her. Unless you give me a bad vibe, I'm open to whatever the creator has for me. And I'm learning that, everybody can't be privy to all of you, but I refuse to not be myself, and put up a wall so that an attempt to not be hurt. I just have to understand, and listen and watch and understand that certain people can't come into my space for these reasons. But when you're
And a
open
lot of
and you
people go
allow
into a
people into your
situation and
space,
don't realize they don't learn nothing from it. So it's going to
mm,
be something that keeps
mm,
happening. When
mm,
something happens, you need to revisit the situation and just say, what happened? Because it keeps happening. So what
mm,
is it that I can do to learn to figure out? Because it could be me.
mm,
Maybe I'm talking crazy. Maybe I'm not accepting. Maybe I'm not even seeing the signs. So a
mm.
lot of people do that and they keep on accepting the same shit, going after the same dudes, doing the same shit, saying the same shit, and it's just like, well, how you expect something different?
Mhm.
You are doing the work. You keep doing the work of the same. So how you want something different?
Mhm.
You got when you're going into a situation, you have to learn this ain't right.
And
Whatever this is,
understand
it
that
ain't working.
time definitely does heal all wounds, and it may take us more time than we anticipate. I definitely didn't think that it would take me 2 years to do anything. Like, once I'm over something, I'm just like, okay. Once I accept it, I'm okay.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm somewhere else with it, because I'm just that kind of quirky. Like, okay, it is what it is. Yeah, it hurt my feelings, and I move on. But to be stuck in something, that was a lot for me. So I'm definitely a person that has learned to never say never. I will say I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know,
Yeah.
because the things that I never thought I'd do, the pain that I never thought I could experience, I was even capable of experiencing, I have. So um, I don't know. But once you're able to really redefine yourself and you've accepted everything, you learn where to place your emotions, you recognize that this is what it is, then you're able to get to a space of freedom. And freedom,
Can I speak on that? please. Because do you
Go,
see
go
this
ahead.
little
You're gonna do
tab
it
right
anyway.
here? This is the freedom tab. I blocked that off. So I like the freedom one.
Oh.
So when I got to a place of freedom, mind you, we had everything. We had house, we had the cars, we had dogs. We were great. We was even Instagram coupled worthy.
Mhm.
So, like you said, detaching myself was just so hard. It was frightening to me
Mhm.
because it was just myself so wrapped up in him.
Mhm.
So when I got to the moment of freedom, I played Jill Scott, woke up this morning with a smile on my face, got out of bed, took a
Took
shower,
a shower.
got dressed,
Right.
cleaned up my
Cleaned
little
up
place.
my plate.
Pick
Made
me
me
some
some
breakfast,
breakfast.
toast.
Toast.
Listen,
2 scrambled
I
eggs.
played because I knew in my space of getting detoxing him and refreshing and replenishing myself, I knew I was gonna have that moment. That was the
Mhm.
goal for me. I knew
Mhm.
I was gonna have that moment. Like I
Mhm.
went to sleep that night and I woke up and I said, I am
Mhm.
finally free. I have detoxed myself. I have let him go. I have done everything that I needed to do to get him out of my space mentally. This is a fucking celebration. And I
Mhm.
need to clarify this. He wasn't the worst man ever. Like he was he was one of the best men I've ever dealt with. So I need to put that out there because I don't want
He
it to
just
seem
wasn't
like
for
I'm
you.
bashing him. It's just once the facade was let down, remember I said that in the beginning of this. Once the facade was let down, he meshed up everything that I saw as far as my perception. And then when that came down, I was like, well, who the fuck is this? Who is this? I don't know him.
Who is it? Who? No, that happened. No, you know, with that last one, when you and I went to dinner, when it was still on, when we were still on, and I told you I don't know, and I, I have a saying, and I say this in the book a few times: "Sweep me off my feet and catch me when I fall." Well, he swept me off my feet, and I landed on my face, and he stomped the shit out of
No, he
me.
didn't stomp you. Can you check that macaroni and cheese?
He
He did
stomped.
not stomp you.
He stomped me down emotionally. He beat me as much as he possibly could. I mean, I'm from Baltimore City, so I'm gonna get back up. I'm gonna get
I'm
back
down, but
up.
just listen. I'm gonna get up. Listen.
I'm gonna get back up. And
Right.
you never know what's gonna happen. But sometimes it's best to be able to just walk away. And I learned that, and I got peace from that. So where you play that one day, I just woke up and I was like, I had already taken his number out of my phone. I had already deleted um, the text messages. Um, I still haven't blocked him because I don't even want to remember that that's his number. Like, you go through your block and it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to think of it at all. So at the end of the day, it was just like, oh, you know what? This person treated me really, really badly. And I think what I held on to was, oh my God, he's going to treat someone better. He's going to marry her. No, he's going to
That's
give
that's
her
that's
the
another thing.
same facade that he gave me. And once she thinks that they in it, and
Just take
they might even
the
get
top off.
married, but I know who this person is. Unfortunately, like for me, it wasn't just narcissism. I was in love with a sociopath. So that's a whole different um, personality disorder. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
something different. So you can be with someone, and we would be out, and you would think that we were the greatest couple known to man. I mean, he would be doting and loving and touching and in my face and kissy
That
hussy,
goes
and then
that goes into ego. That's ego.
go home,
Women
and he wouldn't
ego
even
is
speak.
bigger. Listen, women ego, they're so big. Like I'm like, listen, you see the signs, you know them, but your ego just won't let you let it go
Well,
because of
let me say this. I don't think it's ego. What I will say that is women are emotional. And I was talking to a male friend of mine not long ago, just a platonic male friend, and he said, and he read the book, and he said, what your book made me realize is that men really ignore the emotional makeup of women. And when I say that, I mean like we know that if we do certain things or we act a certain way, that you're going to be hooked. And then we hook you, and then we expect you to just be over it when we're over it. So emotionally, women, like, we're not really made up to be like, oh, I'm gonna date somebody else. We're Men are raised to be hunters, to go out and seek the prey. Women are brought up and reared up to be, I'm the girl with the white picket fence, the house on a hill, the two kids. My first is gonna be my husband. He is gonna be my prince and my knight in shining armor. We're reared differently. So where men are just naturally more logical, women are a lot more emotional. And if I think that if men and women alike could just kind of begin to understand that a little better, then we probably have a lot better connections and better, longer lasting relationships.
So talking from a man's perspective,
Hmm.
everything don't require emotions. So that's
Hmm.
something that women have to realize also.
Hmm.
Pull
Absolutely.
yourself out of an emotional state. Like, well, you know I was sad. Why you ain't da 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 da? The logic of it, you shouldn't have been emotional in the first place. That situation didn't require you being emotional.
But okay, you got to explain, elaborate on that a
So,
bit.
so something can happen. Oh, perfect situation. My friend was talking to someone else, and she was like, it was something simple as her boyfriend leaving her food into the restaurant. He simply forgot. He simply forgot that she wanted her food. She said to him, "Can you bring my food out when you leave out?"
Hmm.
She took it, she put her emotions in it, into the situation, and she even started crying. Be- just simply because he forgot her food in a restaurant.
So one or two things.
This
She was
is
either
something as simple as
PMSing.
that.
No, no, no. She was either PMSing, which I promise you, we don't know that we're PMSing until we're over. And I don't expect for any man to get it, because you can't feel like we are deranged crazy. Like, and we
Yeah,
don't even know it. We
I
will
deal with him every day.
fight
I
you.
know.
We will fight you tooth and nail that we are right, and we'll be wrong. And we don't know that we're wrong until after it's over. Like, literally, PMS, first of all, is a disease. Men don't know. A lot of No, it is. Women don't know this. PMS is a disease.
Men go
Like,
through
they be like,
PMS
"Oh,
too.
I'm PMSing." No, like, I have when you are diagnosed, like, and you have PMS, it's a whole different thing. So either she was PMSing and she was out of her mind, or she's just spoiled. Because I don't even think if I was PMSing, I would have, like, I'd be like, dang, I might be irritated, but I'm not. A logical person in general is not like, you forgot. It happens. I might forget your stuff, but I think we should look at a few questions, or if you guys, I don't know if you had that little question bar.
Baby, this thing was rolling.
Honey, it was
This
rolling.
thing
Oh, so
was
a lot of
the
people say they
comments was
want to get
rolling.
the book. You can get the book at IamPaulaCampbell.com. You can also get it from Amazon.com or Barnes and Nobles, wherever you get your literary work. Somebody said, Paula, can you be a counselor through this? Absolutely. I was doing lives every week, but I kind of got really busy and got out of it. So I'll try to do more lives. If you guys do get the book and you have questions or things that you want to talk about, feel free to just hit me up, and I definitely would love to elaborate and talk through my experience. Again, I wrote this book not just from experience, but I wrote
You
it from
babbling. You're
research.
babbling. We don't got that long. Get some tell
We got
get can
15 more
y'all
minutes.
can y'all eight?
15.
Uh can you go can you guys submit your questions? You were babbling.
Yeah. Submission questions, but definitely. I mean, people want to know
What
what
is part
it's
two? Because I need this
research.
to continue.
I'm
I don't
actually
know if we're
working.
going live again. We might.
Well, yeah, because he be more busy than I am. He's more busy than I am these days. So
Some men do pretend to be. They act like they don't care because sometimes they don't. They just don't care because
if he's acting
one
like
is
he
not
doesn't
that
care, he
serious.
doesn't want you to think that he cares.
And on the man's aspect, sometimes it's just not that serious to care about. Let's figure out the resolution and move on from there. Is that so bad?
No. Hey, Doc, as a man, how do you I saw you heard that question already. Um,
Look, I can't wait to read.
yeah, if you guys have any questions, you might want to just pop them up because we trying to scroll through and I can't see, so I'm gonna stop scrolling because
Scrolling.
I'd be like this the whole time.
This feeling for myself.
So yeah, it's just very important that as people and individuals, we find ourselves and that we are whole within ourselves before we go into a relationship. While we're in a relationship, after we come out of a relationship, it is very very important that you stay true and you don't lose your identity in any situation, and that can be very
Yeah.
difficult to do because everybody wants somebody.
So some
Did you have
people,
something?
does marriage and kids alter your emotions? Yeah,
I
sometimes they
guess.
do. I think so. I think a lot of people are put into a situation of being in a relationship with children. I mean, having kids and being married and stuff. But that shouldn't. You're still a human being as well. So if you're
But
not
do take
happy,
into consideration that a marriage and kids is a whole different responsibility. Some people actually stay married for the sake of they've gotten so much together. I don't want to give her half. I don't want to give him half. I don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to break up a home. I know people literally living in the same. I know this, and
I
today
know. Yeah,
people living in the same household, sleeping in different rooms. They don't see each other. They don't really speak. They don't get along, but they won't leave each other for the sake of their kids, which in my mind, my thought is that is crazy because the kids are going to be psychologically messed up seeing that
yeah,
their mom and dad are separate but not moving. That's just creating more dysfunction for them as opposed to leaving. But people have
yeah.
their own idea of how life should go and what they want for their children. So, I'm not here to judge. I can only give my opinion.
So, like I said, so it's another question. How do you even start dating after being out of the game? So, you have to do the steps. So, if you don't detox yourself from the guy that you're dealing with or who you've been with, you're going to end up with the same one because you're going to look for the qualities that you found in him.
In a different
You
package.
gotta, yes, you have to realize what went wrong and why did it go wrong, and what did you learn from the situation. Then you can go out there and date. That's why I put myself in different situations. Like, hey, I'm going to date a white guy. I'm going to date a Cambodian guy because I'm putting myself in different situations to see
hmm
what actually I like. Getting
hmm
back into
And that's
the
not
into
to
the
say that
dating.
everybody is gonna do that. Like just because Steven dates white can, but it doesn't mean that you have to do that. But what he is saying is try something unique, try something different. Don't be
Different,
afraid
yeah.
to step out of the box and do something different from what you've been doing before. Because the same thing
Exactly.
will get you the same results.
Cleansing your body, mind, body, and soul. Yeah, you have to. You
Absolutely.
have to detox yourself. You have to cleanse yourself from this person because subconsciously you
Take
guys
care
are
of
one
your
person.
soul. Take care of your soul. Take care of your soul because your soul is the only thing that leaves this earth with you.
Yeah, you
Take care
have
of
to be
her
open.
or
You
him.
have to be open. You got to be open. If you just in the mindset of I'm just hurt and I don't want to deal with nothing no more, be that as it may.
How do you not get attached and just date? For me, I will say that the things that I used to do, you know how when you first meet someone and it's like, oh
Wait,
my
what
God,
was the
it's bliss.
question?
It says, how
How
do
do
you
you?
not get attached so quick and just
Oh,
date? So don't give in so much. When you all night on the phone, learn, you know what, this is enough time. I spoke
create
to him or her
boundaries.
today. Create boundaries.
Create boundaries.
I'll speak to you every other day, but I'm not going to spend and give all of my time to a person that I'm not committed to. Decide to learn someone because it all feels good in the beginning because at the
Yeah.
beginning everybody's pretty much showing you their representative, the best person they could be. I want to know you when you're upset. I want to know you on the days when you don't like me. I want to know you on the days where you disagree with me. Can we
So
still
here's my
function and
thing.
be together then?
My process when I'm dating someone, I have 4 dates. I have a date when I'm in I have a date where we are like in an intimate setting, like as far as this home. Then we go out. Then we have a friends date because friends are very important to me. So if you meet my friends and you can mesh well, then that's good. And then we have an adventure date. Because a lot of people can't be open or vulnerable enough to go on an adventurous date, like going painting, like down at the harbor, or go-kart riding. You have to
You
let
babbling.
down your guard to be adventurous and open.
What's the next one? That was three.
No, that was four. One was
Oh.
the date. Two was an intimate setting when like
Oh, got
home,
it. Just regular
and
dating,
then
intimate sex.
friends,
I
and
got it.
then like out.
Got it. Adventure. Okay. Why do guys string females along but accept boyfriend treatment? Because a female will allow it. So
Wait,
why
what? What?
wouldn't
What?
we
What?
accept?
What? What? What?
Why do guys string along females but accept boyfriend treatment? It's because a woman will let him. If a man is treating me good, I've done this before, and I've told this person, hey, I don't want to be with you, and he keep treating me good, and I don't have nothing else to do, I might do that, because we all like good treatment. And I'm not saying that that's right. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that that is right by any means. What I am saying, that if you are giving that service, that treatment, that kindness to that person, and they
Mhm.
appreciate that and it makes them feel good, they're likely to accept it. People are
And
opportunists.
another thing, women treat guys that they're dating like husbands.
Hmm.
They do the wifely duties and all of that shit, and then you look up and you be like, well, where the fuck you go? You didn't gave me all these qualities that a wife should give a husband or a woman should give a man as far as if they're boyfriend and girlfriend. So we only talking, we have not established nothing. Like we didn't even say that we were together. But you're doing all these girlfriend duties, you're doing all these wifely duties. The mission is accomplished. Abort mission. I didn't got all the perks. What else? What else is there?
Hmm.
What else is there? So women
Don't
have
learn
to
at the hard
learn
way. Yes.
boundaries. You have to learn boundaries. No, I'm not cooking for you. Oh boy.
I like cooking, so I'm a
No,
cook.
I'm not cooking for you. No, I'm not doing your laundry. No, I'm not. All this
I ain't
girlfriend
doing your
shit is
laundry.
not
Wait a
happening.
minute. Yeah. Okay, so we're about to have to wrap it up. So P, do you have a last thought for the viewers?
So I feel like being a human being is crazy out here because we have so many perception and perspectives to live up to. For me, I don't live in a box. If I'm dating a guy, it's not going to be the stereotypical, like, I'm a hairstylist. So people just automatically think I should have this super masculine man, this super, like, this whole pretentious lifestyle because I look a certain way on Instagram. Live your life the way you want to live your life. There's no set way of living your life nowadays. Because, back then it used to be a certain way. You can't be ghetto, you can't be ratchet, you got to do this, you got to drive a certain way. There's just so many perspectives in life now that
Hmm.
create your own. Stop
Amen
trying to
to
be a
that.
cookie cutter. We have enough of these Instagram relationships that when these cameras and these circle lights are off, they hate each other.
Right.
Learn the person that you want that's worth you learning. You have to say, this person's worth, he's compassionate, he's understanding, he knows how to communicate. He's worth
Grammy
learning.
music.
So let me learn him. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Stop trying to imitate things that you think that you're. I mean, stop imitating relationships that you think are perfect. Nobody
Amen.
relationship is perfect. Look at Beyonce and Jay-Z.
All right, we gotta wrap it up because I don't want the live to go up, and I have a last thought. So, you can't get the book on Audible. I don't have an Audible, but you can get it on Amazon. Again, you can get it at Barnes and Noble. You can get it at IamPaulaCampbell.com. What I want to say is, there are so many traumas that we deal with, even from childhood, believing that we're not enough, whether it was a teacher, whether it was a parent, whether it was a cousin or a sibling, believing that we're not enough. And we go into relationships believing that we're not enough, or we have to be this way that people told us that we were. I was a little girl that always drew apples on my trees when I was in the kindergarten, and my kindergarten teacher would throw my painting in the trash can because I didn't color the way that everything was, but I thought apples were pretty. I wanted to draw grass, and I wasn't wrong. I was just different. There's nothing wrong with being different. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with having quirks and being yourself. And when you show exactly who you are, your whole being, your whole spirit, you give a person the opportunity to learn who you are, to love you uncontrollably,
Yeah.
without any expectations beyond what you've given them, and vice versa. They begin to show you a different part of themselves. Heal from your traumas, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
a past
Mm-hmm.
relationship, whether it's a childhood, whether it's a job, whatever it is. Heal from those things, learn to live alone, and then you can be a great person for someone else. Would you date you? And that's the question that we want to take away from this. It's
Yeah.
8:08. If the live cut off, we're not going to be able to save it. So we're going to get out of here. Again, the book, you can get it at IamPaulaCampbell.com. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles. You can get it at Amazon. If he wanted to be there, he would.
Good.
Subtitle is 6 Steps to Push Past the Breakup. Everybody loves it that's gotten it. I'm not just saying it because I wrote it, but, try it out. See. And thank you guys all for coming on. P,
We're
thank you
going to
so
schedule
much.
a part 2 somewhere, and we'll let you guys know. And we love you, and we're out.
Love you.
All right, babe.
Hang up.